So with me is Jon Darlington, the chief engineer for Jaguar, and he is going to tell us about the new baby Type 01. Jon, really, this is a big reset for the company. So I think clearly starting from a clean sheet of paper.
Correct.
How did you approach the concept?
Right, so about 5 years ago now, as you say, a clean sheet of paper. We came in, we had a design language.
Right.
And we also said we want to go all electric. So they were the only two things that we had defined. What me and the engineering team had to do was to engineer this car to make sure that we hold the design language.
Right.
And one of the first things was there isn't this proportions, and to make it a Jaguar, we couldn't do it off of something that already existed. So we had to go for a brand new architecture. So that was about 5 years ago now, and that instant challenge was clear.
But right, and tell me, pretty long wheelbase, 3.2 meters.
3.2 meters, yeah.
Is that largely to accommodate the battery and all the ancillaries? Because clearly it's a 120 kilowatt hour battery.
120 kilowatt, yeah.
Takes a lot of space. So is it fair to say that an extension of wheelbase might even give you, the dynamic characteristics you want of stability and that, GT cruising ability?
Yeah.
But packaging also makes a big difference when you have of the batteries when you have a longer wheelbase.
Yeah, so the 3.2 meter wheelbase, I think if you look at all of the Jaguars, the proportions that they all have, they have a long wheelbase, long front bonnet. So the proportions kind of define the wheelbase as well. But then what you do as an engineering team, you work out how you use that space. So, for example, EVs are not normally cab rearward with this long bonnet, because being able to use this space, like you've just said, to get enough kilowatts on board for power and range is unique for us. So that's one of the key areas which is different. But the wheelbase was there for two things. One, as you say, it gives the car presence, it gives the proportions, but it also gives us the entitlement to package the hardware that we need in the car for power and range. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Any downside of that? Extra weight? You have to worry about, ramping up the torsional rigidity.
Yeah,
so I think normally more wheelbase means more weight because you have to make it stiffer.
Exactly. So that's a really good point, actually. So a lot of extensive use of aluminium in this car.
Right.
And the torsional stiffness is really important because that gives that ability for the dynamics in the car to be excellent, a real foundation. So you haven't got a structure that isn't solid. So this is the stiffest Jaguar we've ever made, and we've done that by really focusing on how we pulled the structure together. So lots of use of cast aluminium and extrusions to really make it stiff. So you mentioned the weight. A lot of use of aluminium to keep the weight down, and a lot of focus on joints and details to get the stiffness up. Right. So really important. And
but you said the stiffest Jaguar ever made, but
stiffest Jaguar.
Even the heaviest Jaguar ever made?
Heaviest Jaguar ever, by definition, because of the kilowatt hours on board. Yeah. Yes, the weight in this car, it is heavy.
Yeah. Have you disclosed the weight yet, or?
We haven't given an exact figure, but we've kind of said more than 2.5 tons. Right. But it's 120 kilowatt hours of battery in here. You then think about how you distribute that mass, and you make that work for you. Right. So because that you've got to think about where that mass goes.
So I drove the car. I was, to be honest, quite amazed of how light it felt on its feet.
So it's good to hear.
How do you kind of challenge physics with a heavy car? What are the challenges and what are the tricks you would use in terms of suspension tuning, in terms of weight distribution, balance, all that sort of thing?
Yeah. So we mentioned that stiff structure. That's a really important point.
Absolutely. That allows you to go with softer damper settings as well.
Correct.
If we go
because the damper can flow without having to compensate for structural weakness. Right. But then the mass distribution. So the mass we've distributed the mass through this car. We've used that front end, and we've also got a split battery pack which splits the mass. So we've got perfect 50-50 weight distribution, and it's all low down in the car.
Right.
So that also helps the ride. So the center of gravity is very low. Yeah. So then that means that we can then think about the inertia in the car. We can make the suspension work, and then use the mass to our friend to enable the car to be comfortable. Right. And because you sit quite rearward in the car, you mentioned the car feels quite light on its feet and kind of defies its size. Because you sit quite rearward in a car, you're on the yaw center, and that makes the car feel really nimble and natural.
That's right. But it's again not hyper responsive.
No.
Not very quick off the straight ahead position. That's deliberate, just to give you that little bit of confidence.
Yes.
So clearly, I know it's very GT focused, but 100%, so is it fair to say that last 10% is actually all down to calibration?
So you need the fundamentals. If you've got the structure and you've got the good weight distribution and you've got those factors that we've spoken about.
That's a given. Yeah,
it's a given. If you've got those fundamentals, then you're right. You then into the tuning of the software. So we've got We have got technology on the car, so we were on 4-corner air. It's it's a multi-stage air spring as well, so that gives the team some tuning. And then we're on fully active twin valve dampers as well. So again, you've got some technology, but by having those foundations, you can really exploit that technology to give the character, rather than cover up weaknesses in structure or poor mass distribution. So that's that holistic approach to make sure the car's got that really amazing character and feel to it.
And talking a bit about the battery, because that's really core to any electric car, 120 kilowatt hour battery. So from what I understand, prismatic NMC cells.
Correct.
Densely packed, 811 chemistry.
We keeping some of that information back.
Which means it's 811,
keeping some of that information back. So, but so it's a large format prismatic cell, mainly because it allows us to really go the cell to pack relationship.
So cell to pack has liberated some space as well?
100% liberated some
because
space.
You don't have to go cell to module to pack.
Correct. So you get some space in that. You can really think about how you lay it out in the car. So the layout of the battery is really, really important, because this car's low. And we want to make sure that you feel like you're sitting in the car as well. So there's some challenges there that we've got some quite unique ways of delivering. But battery is clearly fundamental to an electric car.
You know, for India, we have an issue with ground clearance. I think this is 120 millimeters.
That's right.
I can tell you right now, that's not going to work.
Too low.
You'll have to raise it. Are there ways to do that? I mean, can you can do that?
So I mentioned we're 4-corner air. So we give the customer the option to lift the car. Up to 150 millimeters running clearance. So if you're on an uneven surface or big speed bumps or whatever it may be, someone trying to get over something, you've got that ability to lift the car. And that just happens from a touch of the button. From the driver can choose that. But 120 is the nominal running height. But you can lift it.
We've not I had a look at the interior, so clearly you're keeping a lot till the launch. But anything you can talk about practicality in terms of, do we have a frunk? How big is the boot? What's the rear seat like? Or are you saving that for the?
We're saving quite a lot of that back. But what I will say, because we're a dedicated electrical architecture, the trunk, for example, we haven't got to worry about packaging of exhausts, prop shafts, and all of those items. So you give all of that usable space back. So the trunk is actually, although it's quite a coupe-like shape, there's a lot of space in there the customer can use. It's actually quite usable. There is a frunk on the car, but there is some unique packaging underneath there, which we'll tell you about later. And it is a 4-door GT, and it's a 4-seat car. And that roofline obviously shows its row 1 bias, but we've really thought about making sure row 2 is comfortable. So you can use it, but this is a GT car in its essence.
And what little we saw with the camo on and the interior, clearly not too many physical buttons. Is that? I mean, do you think the trend is going back to people wanting buttons, and there could be some kind of, let's say, I wouldn't say criticism, but kind of people wanting, because Jaguar's a traditional brand as well, and buttons are traditional. So I don't know whether customers might be expecting a little bit more physical analog feel over there.
I understand. So there are some switches in the car. For example, seats and other aspects are on hard switches, but we've also got a dedicated central panel which gives all of the things that you might want at that level. So your aircon control, your volume control, they're all at,
so don't diving through sub-menus and menus.
Exactly. So we've thought about how we've approached the digital application. It's not a screen overload on purpose, because you say it's not about that tech overload. We're not trying to chase some of the stuff you see coming out of China, but we want to make the car really, really usable, but true to the Jaguar brand. So we have thought about that. Clearly, we'll monitor the trends and react to what customers need if we need to in the future.
And last question, John, what we haven't heard is sound, because I think it's quiet right now. It's like an EV. Again, sound is very intrinsic to the whole experience, and brands like Jaguar surely have to kind of address that. What is your view on sound in EVs? Because there are different views to it. Some say it's artificial, some say it doesn't work, some say you have to have it. Some are really making it artificially so good that it sounds normal, but it's still artificial. So what's your thought on this?
So you're right. We're not running a prototype car. We're not running the sound design, so you've not experienced it. You're right. We have got a unique sound for the Jaguar brand. And it does change with driver mode. So when you sort of elevate the driving experience, it kind of moves with you. For me, I think some customers love it, some customers don't like it. We'll give everybody the choice to turn it off, turn it up, or turn it down. There's an interesting bit though, when the car's fast. So if you have no audible feedback, it can feel quite strange.
Right.
So having a level of audible feedback we think is important, but
Right.
it will be unique sound for the brand, but we'll give the customer the choice to tailor the levels, because everyone's got different tastes.
Yeah, you don't want to mask speed to that extent with no sound.
Exactly. It is quite a, hearing's one of your senses, so if you've lost that, it can become quite a strange experience. So we'll definitely put sound in, but we'll give you the choice to turn it off.
Right. Okay. Well, great, John. Thanks very much, and
no problem.
Congratulations. What I've driven, very impressive.
Great.
And looking forward to driving the final.
Yes. We'll look forward to having you back. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.